Hello everybody and welcome back to Make Your Good Business Great. Today I have the pleasure of introducing to you Silvio Marinelli from Highview Accounting, and he is going to tell us about his boot camp and how we can increase our profits and what's, taking sales to the next step. So welcome Silvio, thanks for being here.
Oh, no worries.
So
Looking forward to
Silvio,
it.
thanks very much, Silvio. Tell us about Highview and the types of clients that you work with.
So Highview is a traditional accounting business, but over the years we've added different services. So we do financial planning, we do loans, we do help with property investment, negative gearing, shares, insurances, and within the next 3 months we'll be adding general insurance and also legal.
Fantastic. That sounds like a one-stop
So we've been
shop.
in operation since 1990.
Yep.
And I started with the business in 1993. So yeah, we've been in operation for a long time now. Typical client, being our main office being in the southeast suburbs of Melbourne, we do a lot of construction clients. But as our business has evolved, we have IT clients, we have finance clients, we have builders, we have transport, some farmers. We also do a lot of personal tax returns as well. So we do a lot of everything now, really, especially compared to where we've come from.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, that's obviously all got to do with your own business strategy over the past few years as well.
Look, we've tried to evolve. So as the business has gotten bigger, we've added services and tried to separate ourselves from the pack. So rather than being a H&R Block type accounting business, and there's nothing wrong with them, they're good at what they do, but it's not exactly what we want to do. We sort of, if you drive past any accountant, they call themselves business advisors, but we actually want to live it and breathe it. Hence adding the other services and trying to talk to our clients and educate our clients and work with them so they can become bigger and better, and that obviously helps our business as well.
Beautiful. So in general, do you find that your clients have a common problem that they come to you with?
Generally, the main thing that clients come to us with is sort of three main things. So cash flow is one.
Yeah.
Obviously, tax minimisation is another one.
Yes.
But also wealth creation. So there's sort of the three common things. Probably the last two things we generally proactively talk to our clients about that.
Yep.
So we talk to them about a lot of things, to minimise their tax, but also create wealth at the same time. So we're very big on talking to them about superannuation and property investment, also of how they can, construct a portfolio, being financial planners. So we're proactively talking to our clients, in particular in that sort of March, April, May period of the financial year. Because after July hits, the horse is bolted. So we want to be talking to them before then so we can work with them proactively rather than reactively.
Yeah, absolutely. So in relation to cash flow, that's, usually a very big concern for business. What are your top tips for our business owners out there today?
Really planning. Clients that are in business, they really should have a GST account, a GST/tax account.
Yep.
So when that monthly or quarterly BAS comes around, they've already got that money set aside.
Yep.
Preparing budgets and not just preparing a budget, then actually implementing it and reviewing that budget. So, so they can actually see where they've gone wrong on a particular job or a particular month. It could be, there could be just something as simple as, there's 4 5-week periods in there. So it just could be accounting for those
Yes.
little things like that. So you can actually plan what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and you can try and, again, be proactive rather than reactive. Are you paying too much overtime? Just little things like that. So you can stay on top of the game. So analysing figures, I think, once a month is very, very important. And then comparing those budgeted figures to your actual figures, so you can pick up any trends or what's happening, and then you can act accordingly.
Yes, yeah, terrific. It's terrific. It's all about really looking and having an actual overview of where your accounts are at. I think sometimes we don't look into that enough.
Yeah, look, most business owners, sometimes get caught up in working in the business rather than on it.
Yes.
So you get so busy in your day-to-day duties, that sometimes you sort of, forget about what's really important. Now, it's no point, getting all your work done if your debtors policy isn't correct, or your cash flow isn't great, or your costs are blown out because you're not analysing it. So being a business owner, it's very important to actually be involved and to take control.
Yeah, it's terrific. And you have a business boot camp down there at Highview. Can you tell us about that?
Well, that sort of started from help from our business coach. So as we probably started 6 or 7 years ago, as we were going into that other services field rather than just doing tax returns. So what we were trying to work on with our boot camp is to assist. So sort of you're talking to clients and looking at their shortcomings. So we sort of broke it up into 3 sections. So the initial part of the boot camp was talking about marketing and how to build a business. So, who are their customers? Who should their customers be? Do they have any idea of how they should market, or what kind of things that they could potentially do? Have they got any strategies? So that was the first bit, about building a business.
Yeah.
Then the second section was about strategic planning. So, do they have a business plan? Do they have a marketing plan? Have they set any goals? Have they done any of that strategic planning? So how they would structure that and how they would implement that. And then the third section was about wealth creation and tax planning. So and that was sort of the tie-in. So you've built your business and you've got some strategies around how you're going to maintain that business, but obviously then you don't want to lose all of it in tax. So that's where the tax planning, the wealth creation portions at the end sort of tied that all up. So build your business, but you want to retain as much of that income as you possibly can.
And this is really where your expertise and Highview's expertise really comes into play with your customers, both individuals and businesses, is the wealth creation side of things. What would you say your top tips for our viewers today would be?
Look, it really you really have to understand where your profit is, and obviously then cash flow is critical. So if your planning is good and your cash flow is good, well then you've actually got money sitting in the bank that you can actually do some things with. So that could be putting some extra money into super. It could be buying a rental property. It could be buying some shares. It could be buying a property portfolio. It could be just leaving your money in cash. So there's a number of things that you can do, we would, as part of the financial planning process, we undertake what's called a risk profile.
Yeah.
So some people are a bit more risk averse.
Yes.
Some people are a bit more, got a bit more going them and are happy to take a little bit more risk. So
Yes.
we assess that first,
Yep.
and then you can implement from that. So, if borrowing, 500,000 to buy a rental property is going to give you an ulcer, well, you wouldn't do it.
Yes.
And that sort of comes out in that risk
Yes.
that risk profile and risk analysis. So, so for that particular client, they might, a term deposit might be better for them, or some bonds or some fixed interest or something like that. Something that's a bit more government backed. For someone that wants to do some negative gearing in property and shares and things like that, that's got a bit more, that's got a higher risk profile. Well, then you go through the process of the numbers around negative gearing and property investment and super and those kinds of things.
I tell you,
it really just depends on the client. So every individual is completely different. So, and that's what that risk profile brings out. So, who the client is, what their trigger points are, what their goals are, what their ideas are. And you can, having done this for such a long time, you pick that up pretty quickly, and then you can, develop a plan for each individual client, for that particular client, based on their goals and their dreams and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And one of the things that I really like about the wealth creation is that it's not just concentrating on what's happening in the business, but rather seeing what your long-term goals are personally and how your business can fulfill that for you.
Yeah, well, we do when we're doing any goal setting with our clients. We do it. There's always a 12-month goals.
Yeah.
3 years, and 5 years. So,
yes.
5 years seems like a lot, but realistically, it's not really that much in that, and you're constantly evolving that, and that'll change, but I think you need to set it for that long ahead, because if you get in business, you're getting in business to make money and to create a better life for you and your family. So, that's why you need to think, a bit longer term, because you're not going to get into a business for 2 years or 3 years. It's generally a longer period of time. So,
right.
Hence why you want to plan. But again, that would evolve every for instance, every 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, it's terrific. And do you, in your boot camp, advise on any marketing strategies to increase sales for your clients? It's a very broad question because there's so many different industries, products and services out there, but are there any that you advise on?
Yeah, well, one of the things that we do in our boot camp is we sort of we actually talk about the evolution of marketing within our own business. So, of course, accountants' marketing compared to our marketing manager that works for us, is completely different. So we show, the first ad, the first newspaper ad that we ever did, and compared to what we do now, and it's, and they're absolute chalk and cheese.
Yes.
So our marketing managers helped us develop that marketing section of the boot camp. So it's really just a matter of throwing ideas out to people. Most business owners know their industry, a hell of a lot better than me. So it's really just a matter of engaging with them to say, well, look, this is what you could do. Then they would, hopefully engage with a marketing professional, so they could then say, well, we want to do this, this and this. How do we go about implementing it? So very big on, engaging with the right people, with the right skill sets, so you can give yourself every opportunity to be successful.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. And part of that always in marketing is analysing the success of things and industry benchmarking. Can you just expand on that for us?
Yeah, well, the industry benchmarking is something that we've been able to utilise with our clients, really well. So, some clients, may well, they might not be pricing their product correctly. They might be paying too much overtime. They mightn't have a good allocation of marketing spend. Their material costs might be blowing out. All of those sorts of things. So when you're comparing a business to the industry, you're saying, well, you're either better or worse than what everyone else in your industry is doing. So if they're better, fantastic, keep doing what you're doing. But if they're worse, it sort of highlights the areas potentially that they might be having an issue with.
Yes.
And then once you delve deeper into it, there is generally a reason for those issues. So we had a cabinet making business just recently that their expenses were higher than the norm. So once we drilled down in it, they were paying too much overtime.
Right.
So they were inefficient. So and the reason why they were inefficient, their factory was too small and they were sort of stumbling over each other, and
right.
And they didn't have so their delivery process wasn't great because their truck was too small, and it just sort of brought out those kinds of things just from that benchmarking.
Yes.
So they moved to a bigger factory. They got another truck. And their efficiencies improved significantly.
Yeah, wonderful. And Silvio, where do we go to find what is happening in the industry so that we can take stock of where our particular business is?
Well, the ATO have actually got industry benchmarks, which we use. But I would imagine that every industry would have, every industry body would have benchmarking. But we use the ATO benchmarking, which is very good. And they're obviously getting their data from business tax returns and things like that. So their data would be pretty good.
Yeah.
So we use that.
All right, well, that's something that we can explore into. And, debtors are often the bane of every business owner. What do you advise in tackling that problem for businesses?
Look, it's consistency of message. So, and actually having a policy. So, I know with ourselves, we contact our clients at 14 days, they get a text message. At 28 days, they get a call. At 42 days, they get a second text message. At 56 days, they get, they get a follow-up call. And look, and if they haven't responded within 70 days, it just goes to our legal. They get a legal letter.
Yeah, it's great.
So we've taken the emotion. So we've taken the emotion out of it.
Yes.
And that's important. I mean, and sometimes, if someone hasn't spoken to you within, effectively within 70 days, they would have received a minimum of 2 statements plus 2 phone calls, 2 text messages. If they haven't responded to 6, bits of correspondence, well, they obviously, they're not the client that you probably want to deal with. And secondly, they're not making any effort at all. So, at the first or second contact, if someone, responds and they say, look, we're doing it a little tough, can we pay it off? By all means, we allow them to do that.
Yes.
But, if you don't make any effort at all, well, like I said, we just take the emotion out of it and we just follow our process.
I think it's terrific to actually have a process in place. A lot of us might be taken aback when 1 or 2 don't pay, but if there's a process there and you follow the process, then, as you say, there's no emotion involved.
Yeah, and look, on our debtors policy is on our website, so it's not like we hide the fact. So if anyone wants to get on our website, it's just www.highview.com.au, and our debtors policies on that.
Yeah, we could take a leaf out of your book for all of the listeners.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of new businesses just starting out who are listening to us today, Silvio. What's your advice? Legislation, setting up their books, getting their accounting records in place. What do you suggest?
Well, firstly, engaging with a professional.
Yeah.
So go and see an accountant, and getting the structure right. So, are you a sole trader? Are you a company? Are you a trust? So whatever that may be, getting that structure right. Having your books set up right. So again, engaging with a bookkeeper, to set up the proper structure initially, so then it can just be followed. Now you might just engage a bookkeeper to do that, but sometimes costs might be an issue. So but get it set up properly by a bookkeeper or the accountant, and get them to show you how to follow from there.
Yes.
So again, so you're not guessing. So you're spending a little bit of money up front, but you're getting the right structure and the right process in place, and something that then you can follow. And all the right registration. So if you've got employees, you need work cover, you need to pay super, you need to pay, wage tax or pay-as-you-go tax, all of those sorts of things. So we actually have a checklist that we've created for someone that's starting up in business, and that we sort of sit down with a client and we go through that with them. And it goes through all those things like structure, record keeping, the kinds of things that you can claim, the kind of record keeping that you need to keep, cash register tills and tapes and all those sorts of things. So it's a pretty comprehensive sort of list and guide. And again, we do it, we prefer to do it face to face with the client.
Yes.
So they can sort of get to know, what they need to do, how they need to do it, and make sure they're on the right track.
And also, even though we may have gathered some information, there's, most likely something that we would have missed out or overlooked or, really not even thought of when setting up a business and everything that you do to get your shingle up.
Yeah, we also, the business, obviously coming from Victoria, the Business Victoria website is really, really good. There's some great free templates in that website, from job descriptions to business plans to marketing plans to all these different types of things. The Business Victoria website is really, really good. It's got some fantastic free information on that website.
Right.
Also, the ATO website is quite good for business starting up. There's some good templates in there of things that you should do.
Yep.
So there's a lot of free information out there now. Yes.
Yeah, wonderful. And what do you think for Highview has been the best thing that you've implemented to make Highview as a business grow?
Look, the best thing that we did was, steer away from just being a traditional accounting firm. So, we do, we've run golf days, where we invite one of our clients, but they have to invite a non-Highview client. We do race nights, we do information nights where we talk about, the boot camp sessions, we talk about property, we talk about super, we talk about investments. So we try and give our clients as much information as we possibly can. And again, it's a matter of, our newsletters are quite innovative, and we've come up with sort of ads and different things to try and separate us from the pack. As such. So if we advertise the same services as an accountant next door, well then the only thing that we're going to separate ourselves on is price. So if we do different things, well, all of a sudden we're separating ourselves on knowledge and service rather than price.
Yeah, wonderful.
So that was probably the one thing, sort of backing our ability to have the best knowledge in our area, and to be as innovative and proactive as we possibly can.
Yeah, it's terrific. And it is all about separating yourself from the pack so that you do stand out.
Absolutely.
It's great. And, in all of the years, Silvio, you've obviously read a lot of books and business books. What do you think's the best one that you've ever read?
Look, I've always been a really big, since I saw his TED talk about the why, is Simon Sinek. So he's just done a book called Leaders Eat Last. And it just talks about culture and all different things about running your business. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing him speak in Sydney in March. So he's coming out to Australia, and I can't wait. That he'll be. I'm sure he'll be fantastic.
Yeah, wonderful. And obviously, you really admire him. Do you have any other, mentors, idols, gurus that you can't get enough of?
Look, there's another gentleman in particular, a colleague, Ed Chan. Mm-hmm. Ed Chan's been run a very, very successful accounting practice that he started from, just from one office, and now he's gone national. So he's got offices in every state. So I catch up with him probably once or twice a year, and we have a great, as exciting a topic as accounting is, we talk for hours on that. So yeah, probably Ed on a local level.
Yeah.
And Simon Sinek from a more broader level.
It's a terrific point to have a mentor or a colleague that you look up to, but can also share ideas and grow with over the years.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We just talk about things, whatever challenges we've got in business, and him having sort of, I think 13 or 14 offices, it obviously comes with its own challenges, because he's got a lot of staff and a lot of clients, and so he's got his challenges, but he's a very calm and structured person, so not much sort of ruffles his feathers, so he's very great. He's a great person to learn from.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for all of your information today, Silvio. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak with you and to pick your brains. We thank you very much.
Oh, no worries. Hopefully people get at least one thing out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if it's just the planning of your debtor schedule, that's the one thing I've taken away from it today.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, everybody can get in touch with Silvio with the link down below of the page. So thanks again for your time, Silvio. See you soon.
Oh, no worries. All the best.